I always encourage parents, there's different things that you can do at home. I mean, I can just share them here if you're open to it,
Yeah, please do.
that help to, there's different programs, like there's something called interactive metronome or anything with a metronome, anything that has a timing that if they're doing exercises or you're playing a game, put on a metronome app for free on your phone and slow it down a little bit and get them to jump at even a little bit slower pace or get them to bounce the ball or play patty cake in time. What that actually does at a brainstem level is help to bring the nervous system and the brain into coherence with time and space.
Well, now you're making me think of so many things that is popping in my head that like music, like playing piano or learning guitar, like why that could be so so nervous system resetting because you are learning to play, and the metronome that makes sense. Like absolutely, it's like this rhythm that your body heart and blood can kind of adjust to because it's something you can focus on. I'll definitely try that with my kids, and shows for sure because I choose shows for my kids that aren't Cocomelon because I can't. Same thing I've tried. I'm like, what? I get overwhelmed. I'm like,
That's
this
it.
is
just like a question mark.
yeah, just like what is this? And so all the shows we picked and from our kids when they have watched have been really slow, calming. Oddly enough, a lot of like BBC shows. Like one of our favorites when our kids were young was the show called Sarah and Duck. Essentially, it's about a little girl named Sarah and her pet duck that would go on adventures. It was real muted colors, not overly bright, quiet, soft music. I was like, I was relaxed and my kids were relaxed.
Just listening.
It was super just like, oh, I like this. It's just like soothing. And it's like they're learning and the whole show is them exploring just the day of like a rainbow or rain or flying a kite. It's like basic things, but it's so calming.
Being intentional about what our kids are watching.
Totally.
It's a challenge,
Yeah.
It's a challenge for parents, right? Because I feel like our nervous systems, right, when we get into threat and when we get into stress and when we're overwhelmed, we don't want to say no to our kids. We want them to be occupied because we're so afraid of what their needs are going to be of us when we're feeling at our bandwidth. And so, I think, the quote about, a child will do well when they can. I like to say, a parent will do well when they can. Right? All parents want to do the best for their children as possible, and they want to be enjoying that oxytocin exchange, and they want that because that nourishes, what I call the family nervous system. However, when they're in that heightened stress state, and especially, of course, COVID's like this defining moment in our lifetime of, not feeling safe, not feeling safe in engagement, in relation to others. And then what the children went through with that process, with parents being less available to themselves or to the rest of the family unit. So that, that regulation of, can we take a moment to draw some advisory notices in our home of what the kids will be exposed to, knowing that it actually will feed back in a better way. And they are such receptive little sponges, love them, that, they are often super open to this idea of, hey, and here's why. And I saw that with when people started first bringing me their children, and I would tell the kids, okay, here's what I see, and here's why I think you shouldn't eat this, and let's see if you feel differently. And then the parents would tell me, they would, send messages through the app or whatever and say, at dinner, she said that you said this, and this, and none of us should eat that because we don't want to feel that way. Kids love to be a part of the family, feel like they're supporting the family. And so I love the idea of starting that conversation in homes about, hey, here's what sometimes this can make people feel. And if you don't want to feel that way, let's try eating something different, adding something different in to support ourselves, watch something different, because all of our sensory input, the one that we're aware of, the ones we're aware of, and the neuroceptive input lens, right, and how it's being interpreted, contributes to every moment in that dynamic.
Yeah. And again, but this comes back to